Okay, I'm going to work out the study guide. First problem is to find the discriminant for those two equations, and the discriminant is b squared minus 4ac. So let's go ahead and put some numbers in there. So a in this occasion is a -1, b is a -5, c is a -5. So let's put those numbers into the discriminant. So I've got b squared, that's a -5 squared, minus 4 times a times c. -5 squared is 25, minus 5 times a -5 times -1 is a positive 20. Sorry, -5 times -1 is 5 times 4 is a positive 20. So subtracting those, I get 5. Okay, let's move to the next one. And b squared minus 4ac, so a is equal to 1, b is a -2, c is a -5. So b squared, that's a -2 squared minus 4 times a times c, which is a -5. So b squared here is going to be 4. And on the other side, I would have -5 times 1 is a -5 times 4 is 20, so that's minus a -20 equal 24. Let's move down to the next problem. This one says to find the value of the discriminant and use that to find the number and types of solutions. So let's review the number and types of solutions that we're going to have. If I have a positive discriminant, I'm going to have 2 real solutions. If I have a 0 for the discriminant, I'm going to have 1 real solution. And if I have a negative value for the discriminant, I'm going to have 2 imaginary solutions. Okay, so let's go ahead and find a, b, and c in this equation. A is a -7. B would be equal to 7, and there is no constant term, so c is 0. b squared minus 4ac, that would be 7 squared, minus 4 times a, which is a -7, times c, which is 0. So I would have 49 minus 0 is equal to 49. Okay, since the discriminant is positive, I'm going to have 2 real solutions. Next problem. I have a is equal to 10, b is equal to -2, c is equal to 2. So b squared minus 4ac, b squared is a -2, b is a -2, so b squared is a -2 squared minus 4 times a times c. -2 squared is 4, minus 20 times 4 is 80. So 4 minus 80 is going to be equal to -76. Since it's a negative number, I'm going to have 2 imaginary solutions. Next problem. Next problem says to solve. It doesn't tell us how. We can use the quadratic formula or whatever method we want to use. So the first problem, what I have is I need to get this -7n over to the left-hand side so that I'm setting y equal to 0. So that would be n squared plus 7n plus 12 equal to 0. Now I could use the quadratic formula. I'd prefer to factor it if I could, because that would be quicker. And so I'm looking, if I could factor it, it would be 2 numbers that add to the 7 multiplied to the 12. So that'd be 4 and 3, so I'll have n plus 4, n plus 3 equal to 0, and the values of n that would make each of these factors go to 0. Over here I would have n is equal to -4, n is equal to negative 3. Next problem says that I have 8x over here on the right. Let's move it to the over so that I set y equal to 0. Okay, the first thing we always do before we factor is we try to bring out any common factors that I can. This one has an x, so if I take an x out, I have x minus 8 equal to 0. So the value of this x that would make y become 0 is 0, and here I have x is equal to 8. These are the last two on the page. At the end of the page, I'll stop the recording so that we have it broken down by each page. Okay, for this one, let's see if I can factor something out. I cannot factor a 2 out. I cannot factor an a out, so I have to live with this. Perhaps you want to use the quadratic formula. I prefer to use factoring if I can because it's quicker. And so let's see if we can. Let's try AC middle here. So I'm going to take 2 times 21. So the AC would be equal to 42. The middle term is equal to 17. So I want numbers that add to 17. Multiply to 42 if they exist. And they do. It's 14 and a 3. So I'm going to say 14 and a positive 3. Of course, those would have A's. So now I'm going to pull the 17A out and replace it by 14A plus 3A. And I would match the 2A, the 2 with the 14. So I've got 2A squared plus 14A plus 3A plus 21 equal to 0. So let's group this. So for the first half, I can factor in 2A out, leaving me with A plus 7. Then I'll have to have A plus 7 on the back half also. So to get A plus 7, I would have to factor out a plus 3. So I will have 2A plus 3 times A plus 7. Find the values of A that make those go to 0. So on this one, I could set up a little equation. 2A plus 3 equal to 0. 2A is a negative 3. So A is a negative 3 halves. For the A plus 7, we'll simply have A is equal to a negative 7. Next equation. Let's see if I can factor anything out. Yep, I can factor a 3 out. And I cannot factor a b out, so I'm going to have 3 times 5b squared minus 7b plus 6 minus 6. Equal to 0. So since there's an equal to sign, and this is not a variable, I can never divide out a variable. I could actually divide the 3 out because it's not going to play anything in my solution. So if I divide both sides by 3, I'm going to get 5b squared minus 7b minus 6 is equal to 0. Let's use AC middle on this and see if I can factor it. Otherwise, we'll use the quadratic formula. So 5 times a negative 6, so AC is equal to a negative 30. And the b is equal to a negative, the middle term is equal to a negative 7. So I'm looking for two numbers that multiply to negative 30, add the negative 7. How about a negative 10 and a positive 3? Okay, so let's remove this minus 7b and replace it with a negative 10b and 3b. So I'm going to have 5b squared minus 10b plus 3b minus 6 equal to 0. Let's group it. So I'm going to take a 5b out of the first part. That will give me b minus 2. I have to have b minus 2 in the last part. So I would have to factor out a plus 3. So my factors will be 5b plus 3 times b minus 2 equal to 0. For the first factor here, the solution would be b is equal to a minus 3/5. And this next one would be b is equal to 2.